Hello, and welcome to Lit History.
It's lit.
Today we are going to be talking with the one and only Bear Nelson. As we all know, today we will be discussing the chaotic events that happened back in the 1940s, aka World War II. With that being said, Bear, I was wondering if you could give me a quick summary of how and why the U.S. got involved in World War II.
Okay, so look, basically there was a battle at Summer Speed. There was a country that came over. It was the Japanese. So the Japanese, let me tell you something, they were not happy. They came over here all squatting up with their airplanes about to shoot some stuff. The Americans saw these planes and they're like, dang, this is really about to go down. So the Japanese are dropping all these bombs on our Navy, and our Army's like, fire up the machine guns and planes because we're about to drop some tangos. If you don't know what a tango is, it's an enemy, Learn that in Call of Duty when growing up. Pretty good video game, not gonna lie.
Wow, very insightful. Now, can you tell me, were the Americans scared? Was our army even ready for this kind of war?
So after all these Japanese shenanigans, the U.S. is like, dang, we just got slapped. Now we gotta build up our army so we can go and blow up some Axis powers. So then the government went up to the people's doors and asked, hey, come join the army. We about to murk some fools. and the people are like, I'm down with it. But some people said, nah, I ain't down with that.
Wait, were women a part of this too? Could they join?
Heck yeah, they're all about that warriors. These bad jammers works as nurses, ambulance drivers, radio operators, electricians, and pilots.
But what was the name of the organization?
What was the name? Oh yeah, it was the Women's Auxiliary Army Corps.
Were these women discriminated?
I'd prefer not to talk about it, but yes, there was some discrimination against them and other races.
Oh, okay. We understand. So, after all this chaos in the U.S., what happened to the industries and businesses?
All I have to say was business was booming. Car factory owners were like, nah, we ain't doing no cars no more. We about to make some big boy guns. So they started to build tanks, planes, and boats. Not only did the business boom, but also average guys and even women started making bank. It was like crazy number of people working, something like 18 million laborers.
Oh my god, that's a crazy number of people.
Right? That's what I was thinking.
What was this amazing secret that the scientists kept for a long time?
That was called the Manhattan Project. This was some serious stuff, crazy serious stuff. The science was unable to split uranium atoms, which released a ton of energy. Once they found this out, the government was like, oh dang, we could make a crazy bomb out of this. And everyone was like, heck yeah! But then Einstein, you know Einstein, hopefully, he wrote a letter to Roosevelt and was like, yo, this crazy ish could be used against us. Yeah.
Tasty.
Oh. Well, thank you so much for your time, Bear. And coming up next, well, you'll have to wait and see.
And we're back. This hour, our guest speaker is Mr. Ali Tavikal.
So glad to be here. Couldn't imagine spending my time any other way. I could be at the beach. I could be playing video games or basketball.
Okay, so let's get this going. We were wondering if you could start off by describing the relationship between the U.S. and Britain.
So the U.S. and Britain were like real homies. blood brothers. They came together and Roosevelt was like, dang, these Axis powers are really annoying. Then Churchill was like, OMG, I know, these Germans always trying to get up in my country with their dumb lightning warfare. Churchill was then like, yo, you gotta be building an army, and then we the British got a dank navy. Hey, we could put that together and we could take out the Germans. Then Roosevelt was like, yo, that's a dope idea, you the man. That moment created their everlasting relationship.
Wow, what a heartfelt story, Mr. Tavical. But I was wondering if you could give me some more details about what they actually did in the war. Maybe what happened during D-Day in the Battle of the Bulge.
Of course. So one day, the boys were like, hey, let's go free our dudes in France from the Nazis. And then one guy was like, bro, but what if they hear the radio calls? And another guy was like, yo, we could fake some orders to trick these fools. Then the guy before was like, dude, yes, we gonna do that. Then, on June 6, 1944, Eisenhower gave the orders to attack. Then, this other battle was called the Battle of the Bulge. These Germans be like, dang, we'd be losing and stuff. Finna make a final push on these allies. And Hitler was like, true that, let's get our guns and tanks and roll up on them. So then they pulled up with like a mad army, you know? They got tanks, planes, and machine guns and stuff. Yeah, Hitler ain't joking around no more. Then the Germans came in and took like 120 prisoners and killed them all. Then the Allies were like, dang, that's some dark stuff. So, they were all mad and stuff, which made them be like, Germany, you better get the hands. You know, like fighting them and beating them up. Then the Allies put in that work and destroyed that German army.
Looks like the Germans took a real beating, huh?
Yeah, it didn't end there. Russia was like, let's go finish this thing. So their squad was preparing to invade Berlin, and then on April 25th, 1945, Russia went into Berlin to get some. Hitler was like, nah, I ain't gonna end up like this for me. I'm done with this war. I'ma just write a letter. Who should I blame it on? Oh yeah, the Jews. He really blamed the Jews for starting the war. Now that's a messed up. After he wrote the letter, him and his wife just dipped and killed themselves. Then a week later, Eisenhower accepted the unconditional surrender of the Third Reich. And Germany lost. Again.
Hello again and welcome to Hour 3 with our new jet. Oh, Hello again and welcome to Hour 3 with our new guest, Jason. And
Hello. So glad I could be here.
so, I've heard a lot about the war taking place in Europe. But did it take place anywhere else?
Yeah, the Pacific Ocean.
Oh yeah, I think I knew that. Can you refresh my memory with what was going on in the Pacific?
Duh. So there was basically this thing called Doolittle's Raid. And I ain't talking about no movie starring Eddie Murphy. The Allies finished the battle with Germany and moved on to Japan. Yeah, with 16 bombers, the US, with Doolittle in charge, lit up Japan. Pop, pop, pop!
Yeah!
Mr. Doolittle turned into Mr. Do-A-Lot. Haha! Nah, I'm just playing. Anyways, there was another battle. This one was called the Battle of Midway.
No way.
Yes way. The battle... the battle... The battle was turning... The battle was like the turning point to defeat Japan. The Americans broke the Japanese code and was like, yo, yo, yo! The Japanese trying to hit up Midway. Let's meet them there. And then the Allies were like, I got an idea. It's called island hopping. Let's hop from island to island and win all those territories they took from us. And everyone was like, hey, that's a dope idea. Let's do it. So then the Allies got islands and they were like closer to Japan and stuff. So they did some big boy bombing. They started thinking, we got this atomic bomb, let's put it to work on Hiroshima. And everyone's like, yeah, for sure. So they got the bomb and they named it Little Boy. Ironic, huh? The name has little in it, but it's a big bomb. Then they dropped that thing on Hiroshima and wiped them out. It was kind of like when you're walking down the street and you get punched in the stomach. Like Japan was the stomach and the Allies were the fist. But then the Allies weren't done. They fired another atomic bomb. Now this makes sense, because it was called Fat Man. Don't you just love atomic bomb names? This bomb killed like a bunch of people.
Holy shit! That's so awful, but at least the US proved to Japan that they couldn't mess with us.
Frick yeah.
Oh my god, how could I have forgotten? You must explain to us what happened to Germany.
So the people found out about the death camps. 24 Nazi leaders were put on trial for all the bad-ish they did. These people put on trial, which was this thing called Nuremberg trials. The defendants were all like Hitler's homies and boys and his gang. The Nazi leaders were like, but we were told to do it. Then the judge was like, LOL, you're responsible for your own actions. After the trial, 12 were sentenced to death and some were sent to prison.
Wow.
Or poison.
Well, Jason, that's all the time we have, and I appreciate your being on this show.
We are back. Wow, what a great episode of Lit History that was, right?
I know, it was so lit.
So lit. But there was one thing that I feel like they didn't really touch upon. What was going on with all the racial groups during the war? They didn't tell us anything.
I completely agree, Julia.
Like the African Americans, Japanese Americans, Native Americans.
Damn.
What was happening with them?
I don't know.
But we're here to tell you right now.
Yes, we are.
So Steffi, would you like to tell the audience what was happening with the African Americans at the time?
Well, I mean, they didn't even know if it was their war to fight.
I did hear that. That is true. But didn't they win like a bunch of awards or something?
Actually, yes, they did. Because... Oh, well, okay. African Americans, we understand what happened to them, but what about the Japanese Americans?
Well, they had a pretty rough time during World War II just during and after because of everything that happened at Pearl Harbor.
Oh yeah, weren't they put in concentration camps?
Yeah, every Japanese Americans, whether or not they were born in the U.S. or not, they were put into camps.
It's terrible.
Awful.
It brings a tear to my eye.
It was sad. And we see it as one of it went against the basic civil rights of all humans. It's okay, it's okay. Well, what about the Mexican Americans? Like how many Mexican Americans participated or served in the army?
Actually, there's over 500,000.
Oh my god.
I know.
And were they segregated?
No, actually, they weren't separated, so.
Yeah, like they weren't put into separate units like African Americans were just.
And they weren't put in the concentration camps like the Japanese.
And our other neighbors, the Native Americans.
Yeah, Jules, what even happened to them?
I mean, they've had some ups and downs, but they've also been some key figures in many battles, particularly in World War II.
Wow.
Yeah, they were called code talkers because they helped coordinate the American military efforts using a code that only they could understand. So like a secret language, which was, pretty cool.
Oh, like gibberish.
Something like that, I guess, yeah.
Have the gal, have the gum, have the guy, and the game is the go for the gun, and the key.
Wow. And I just wanted to, I know they touched upon this in the episode of Lit History, but I mean, women were freaking rocking their butts off during that time, right?
Oh yeah. They
Yeah.
were some fighters.
Yeah. Over 6 million women entered the workforce for the first time. So can we give it up for the women? Well, that is all the time we have for you today, so
Yeah, so
see you later.